Hey guys, how's it going? This is Jay back with Tokened Up, and we're really just going to go over some new player advice today. I've been waiting on doing this video for a while. Initially I'd compiled, 10 tips for new players kind of video, and it just didn't really feel organic. I still have those tips in my handy dandy notebook if we want to do a follow-up for this one. But what I did was I waited till we had a competitive night at my local scene. This was about a week ago. And we've got 4 people that showed up that day ready to go to Canadian Nationals. And everybody there was doing our best work to make sure they got some really good practice. So really competitive night. And I used that opportunity to ask everybody that was there what their tips were for a new player. It seems like most new players for Heroclix go through a very similar kind of lifespan, at least in the beginning stages. Get the courage to come out to a local scene, kind of have a blast, but you don't normally win. In fact, most people don't win their first Heroclix game for like a month or two. It takes a while to come out, play, get beat, ask what's going wrong, take the advice in and then start to adapt before you really start coming out on top. And so when I asked these people for tips, I was asking for that time frame, the first month or two that people are out, what tips would you give them, what advice should they get? And so we got a lot of really cool answers, and I'll kind of go over them one at a time here. I found this really cool picture of Metropolis online. I don't know who the artist is, but if I can find it, I'll credit them. I'll just put it up in the background. We'll do this kind of like a slideshow. The number one response came from Derek first, and this is probably the most important. Every other response we got after kind of at least echoed this advice just a little bit, and that is that attitude matters. And whether you're competing at nationals or at your kitchen table or just playing solo, you need to be enjoying the game first before you decide about winning, because whether you win or not doesn't really matter. What matters is coming out and enjoying the fun time with the community and actually enjoy playing the game. The wins will come second, so make sure you don't lose that in your journey to start taking these W's. So thank you, Derek, for that one. And then our next kind of handful gave us some really good team building advice. This was from Jabin, Sage, Herb, and Dustin. All kind of gave different parts of the same core main idea. And that idea should be that your team should be built around pieces you like. Pieces that are unique or that are just exciting to you. And you want to pair those up with the other pieces that will complement them. And so when you put all these pieces on the map, the ones you like, the ones that will help them out, you want to also play them together as a team. You don't want to leave anybody back in the starting line. Everybody should be engaged, getting action tokens. And then that way, all your cool ideas you had in team building, like, oh, this guy's going to run up and do this, and then this guy's going to give him this free thing, and it'll make this even better, those can actually start to shine and happen in the game. And very importantly, be prepared for your brilliant idea that you put together when you were building this team to fail. And fail spectacularly. Expect to run up your main guy the first time and have him get blown off the map, and then learn, okay, that's too far, let's bring it back a little bit. And don't be afraid to try again. Whatever that cool idea that inspired you, I'm going to give you a secret, it probably works. Just maybe not the way you ran it the first time, or the second time. But I promise you, if that idea is there and you can kind of see it in your brain, it works. You just got to figure out how. And then you want to play the same pieces multiple times. This is a surefire way to get better and to learn what your team or your playstyle might be missing. Maybe you're too aggressive, maybe you're a little bit too passive and you never get to, get that first attack off. Maybe your support pieces are never in the right place and you need to use your first actions to move them in place. Little things like that will start coming to you more and more naturally as you play the same pieces more and more, because you're spending less of your brain power to try to figure out how your own pieces work. And you can actually start thinking, well, what are the threats? How does this get taken apart? Where do these people need to be? And then we got some really good advice from Grayson for people that are really worried about like set rotations and having to master multiple pieces. And that advice was to look at iconics or exclusives. For whatever reason, these tend to stay modern legal for way longer than a normal modern set. And what I mean by that is that if we look at modern today, we have con exclusive pieces from 2020 that are still legal. Most things only get 2 years, roughly. Some sets get released right before Worlds and get rotated very quick. And so if you're worried about that kind of thing, or you're really a person that wants to spend time and really delve deep into how, one team or one concept works, look at the standalone pieces. They usually play really well and are really exciting and do something a little bit different. And then lastly, we got some great gameplay advice from Zeke, from John, and from Wade. And they expressed how important it is to read your opponent's cards. This is before the game, during the game, whenever you need that info, it's there. Even if you don't know all the pieces yet, just putting someone in a general archetype is going to help you out a lot. Even if you don't know the piece at all, just trying to ask yourself, what's this piece trying to do? Is this going to run up and attack me? Is this going to shoot me from range? Is this going to be a support piece? Or maybe it's just really tanky and central to my opponent's team. And that'll help you out a lot. Looking at the cards, especially during the game, will also help you line up your good attack powers with the defense powers that they beat. One of the main ways to get value out of your pieces is to just get good attacks off. And so if you've got Pin Blast on your ranged attacker, and you have two choices between a character with a reducer or a character with super senses, well, I'm generally going to hit that character with the reducer so that way I can get more damage in, since my attack power beats their defense power. And checking the opponent's cards is a really helpful way to make sure that you're on the right track. After you've kind of checked out their cards, the other thing it's going to help with that John was really keen on putting out there is that this will help you figure out how far your opponent's range is. Everyone in Heroclix has had that first turn where you kind of move everybody up. You move up way too far. Your opponent basically gets to do whatever they want to you. Their whole team just kind of tees off and the game's over before the first turn's really done. And so by figuring out your opponent's max range, you can even ask them. Most people just tell you straight up. Then you can figure out how far it is that it's safe for you to move, or whether it's okay to risk having one person be able to attack you, but not so far forward that their whole team can attack you. And checking those cards is a really good way, or just asking, to how far each opponent's piece can reach. That'll let you move up safely on the first turn and actually get a real game instead of just being handicapped from turn one. And then Wade's advice, and I'll emphasize this with Wade is a really strong positional player, is that what helped him out a lot and what he sees really kind of clicks with new players is taking some time to figure out how lines of fire work. This might sound really simple, of just figuring out who your opponent can see, what they can see over, but it'll help you a lot more than you think, especially because it's kind of tricky in this game. But knowing how lines of fire work and which ones do and don't work at a glance during the game will give you a really big leg up on almost any opponent. And so that's the advice that we've gotten. I'll just do kind of a brief summary up on the screen as we're going. But just to kind of recap, play the things that you like, that you find exciting. Play them repeatedly. Look at your opponent's cards. Figure out how far they can reach. And take the time to kind of do the little homework to figure out lines of fire, and it'll help you out tremendously. And if you're worried about set rotations or wanting to play the same characters for a long time, maybe a character that you really like, look at some of the iconics or the con exclusives, because they're going to be there for you. And they're going to be really fun to play, because that's why they make them. So I hope this is really helpful. I want to keep doing quick tip and learning videos, so let me know if there's something that some of you guys struggle with, especially down in the comments, and we'll address it. get some good game footage for you guys to kind of see in real time some of these tips and tricks. And let's get some of you guys out there winning games with characters you like to play. So leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. It's super, super helpful. And we've got some really, really big news. I need to make sure that everything's in place first before I announce it, just in case something goes wrong at the last minute. But I'll give you I'll whisper it here to you. There's a pretty good chance we're going to get to live cover the Heroclix event in Lethbridge, which I'm really excited for. That'll be super fun if we can figure it all out. If we can't, then I'm still going to go down and record it and put it all together for some event coverage for you after the fact. But that should be super, super fun if we can make it happen. But I'll see you guys there. I'll see you down in the comments. And more importantly, our silver gameplay series has gotten a lot of good review, a lot of good interaction. Way more people watch that than I expected. But episode 2 is already edited. It is in the pipeline and should be coming out next week. So look forward to that. Thank you all for watching, and I hope this helped you.